Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Another edition of Riverbend Talon on the Big Z. And I'm Dennis, Pigpen with me as well. And,
yes, sir.
How's it going?
Another Thursday night in the Riverbend area. Beautiful day today, man. What a great day to be outside and be alive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's that time of year, too, in the Riverbend. Everything about to happen.
Oh, there's so much going on around here. Like that, coming up just in the next couple weeks, it's like still festival season. Even though all summer long we've been talking about all the cool festivals going on around here, we're not done yet, man. There's still a bunch of them to go before it's over. Coming up, though, tonight, we know every Thursday night we got the sea shanty sing-along going on at Morrison's Irish Pub. Go down there, drink some Irish whiskey, get drunk, and sing along with the crowd. DJ Denice be right across the street there and up the street and around the corner at Bossa Nova doing the DJ Denice Dwayne Williams set.
Right.
Open mic night down at the Raging Cajun Piano Bar every Thursday night, and every Thursday night open mic night at Germania Brewhaus right down the road. Who else we got? DJ Josh, 9 p.m. at the Back Bar. So there you go. We talked to Marion from the Back Bar. Found out quite a bit about that place a couple weeks last week, so that's pretty cool. What else we got going on?
Down at Imperial Pub, Comedy Night, hosted by Nicholas Kavar, 8:30 to 11. It's $5, and the lineup is special guest Brendan Olson. Headliner is Joe Crack. Right?
Okay.
Featuring Meredith Hopping and Rich Braun.
Man, I know Joe Crack.
You would. Hey, you were talking about festivals. Look, right underneath there. Festival kicking off this weekend up in Calhoun.
It's
they call them county fairs.
Right, it's Calhoun County Fair up in Hardin.
All right.
There's going to be a talent show at the grandstand.
So
at 7 p.m.
So we already did the comedy thing. I don't know why I put it on there twice, but we did.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, we also have Riverbend Talent on the Big Z, brought to you by Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. And we have a special guest in studio.
We got Gordo, Jason Gordon, the greatest one-man band you're ever going to see. What's going on, Gordo?
Oh, not a lot, man. Glad to be here. How are you guys doing?
Oh, doing pretty good, man. So you're in town to do your one-man band thing coming up. What is that? The 15th? Is that right? Did I get that right?
I've got a couple shows.
No, it's here it is. It's Friday the 6th. It's tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow night at the Great Rivers Tap and Grill, and then you're going to come back 2 weeks later with a Sneaky Pete reunion.
Yeah, we're doing this will be the second annual Sneaky Pete and Friends show here in Alton. We're excited about that, man. We got a whole new lineup of material and some new special guests coming in.
The special guest you had last time, because I was at the last one down at Max.
Yeah.
And you had some special guests. It was pretty impressive there.
Yeah, we had
a younger crew coming
We
out.
had some of my nieces and nephews that are college and high school age players. My niece was on fiddle. I had another niece on cello and flute, and they're playing with us again this year, and we've added to that as well. So it ought to be an exciting lineup. See what happens.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
Bringing the young kids out. That's the next generation of musicians.
Well, that's what it
around.
is. We're getting these younger kids on stage and letting them get that kind of an experience, and hopefully inspire the same passion for live music and performing that I've got, and,
right.
and the rest of the guys in the band have had, for years. So
life is vibration.
Yeah, well,
embrace it.
It is, for sure.
So I wonder if any of the kids you got involved were part of Kids Rock, right? And Halpin Music.
That's a great program that starts them really young.
Right, 4 to 7.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring it up is they started their September session, and they're looking for October musicians. They got one person signed up for the next band. So they got their band going, and they've got one of the 4 for the October session.
So they need 3 more people to sign up for the October session to get a 4-piece band going.
Now check this out, Jason. 4 to 7 years old, you're offered this opportunity. You get to learn 3 instruments, guitar, drums, and keyboard, perform a song, and do a concert, right?
Yeah.
For the amazing low price of $129.
Not bad.
About a month
Get them started early.
Yeah, a month worth of rehearsals. So it's every Tuesday and Thursday night. from 4 to 5.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, that'll whip you in shape pretty quick.
Well, you know, and you're so young. You at that age, you're just a sponge. You know, you can absorb that stuff so much better than you can when you're 40.
Crusty.
And old and crusty. It's hard to remember all that stuff and learn. You know, at that age, you know, you start early like that, man. You can get on fire for it early. You can.
Your brain's no longer that new sponge. It's the old sponge under the sink that you could like hammer and nail.
It lets more out than it lets in, man.
Right.
So we got the Alton Expo coming up, and you're back home in September. Kind of ironic that you come back home around that time, you know, and there's kind of an Alton Expo going on and all that, and you're doing the Bluff City Grill down there that weekend, right? Yeah, so that'll be good.
And you're doing it outdoors at the Bluff City
We
Grill.
are. Well,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we're going to do it in the parking lot right beside the sports bar entrance there. So we're going to block that off, put up some sort of staging, and yeah, we're still working out all the details. But hey, by the way, too, we're still looking for horn players and string players. So if there's anybody out there listening that would like to get in and play with us, we'd be more than happy to have them. I'd love to have some trumpets, some violins, some cellos, whatever I could find, some French horns. You know, anybody out there that is interested in playing. We'll have to give them my contact info and let them give me a shout.
Pigpen played a trombone once.
What's that?
Pigpen played a trombone once.
Just once? You're in. That's all it takes.
I did try. I always wanted to try, so he handed me one day, and I found out it's harder than what I thought. I about passed out after about 5 minutes. I was trombone shorty. I am not.
Yeah.
I'm shorty, but I am not trombone shorty.
Yeah,
man. It was. I love all instruments, and I'll try any of them. But that was a hard one.
No, if it doesn't have strings on it, I'm a little lost on that too.
Reed instruments have always escaped me to try to figure those out. Even stringed instruments that are bowed. If you put enough rosin on the bow, I can squeak a few notes out. But then I got to re-rosin that bow.
Well, that's the way I was with the violin. I had one. It was a real nice one. Had it for years. Once in a while, I'd get it out and make some noise with it. But once my niece got as good as she is, I brought it and just gave it to her last year. I said, "Man, you'll get more use out of this than I ever did. Take it."
Hey, that's what Jimi Hendrix's father told him when he gave him his first guitar. He said, "You're going to get more out of this than I ever will." I don't know if he did. You ever hear his dad play? He's good.
I really think I ever did.
G's, C's, and D's all day long. No,
on trombone?
I don't know. Yeah, on trombone. All that trombone. I don't know. I'm spinning out of control. What are we talking about again? Trombone Shorty's dad, right?
So we're going to be talking to Jason a little bit more later on, and we're going to go over what's happening around the river bend.
Like we always do.
We got to shift gears, unfortunately, and get into some not so good news. Right?
Yeah. So a past guest and a good friend, life friend, Gus Kodros has passed on in the past week since we talked to you last. And man, I was trying to think when I met Gus on the drive down here. And I would have to guess about 1985, 84, 85, somewhere around there.
In a park in Bethalto?
Well, no, it was at high school. He was playing a band. He had formed a band had formed called Palace.
Right, that was in a park in Bethalto. He talks about it in this interview.
Did it happen in a park? I just remember.
Well, you thought it was a baseball field. Something.
I do remember a baseball field.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was Gus was the drummer of that band. I think I got into it 'cause I got to hang out with those guys or be their roadie or whatever at the time because Lance Klein was the singer and he grew up in my neighborhood. Tony Morales was the guitar player, an amazing guitar player.
He's going to talk about all that.
And
we've got a little
and Gus
snippet.
Kodros was the drummer, man. So
what we got here, Big Ben, is normally, and Jason can vouch for this, when we have a guest in that we haven't interviewed before, we have them in and we kind of lay them out on the table and give them about a 2-hour torture of their life history, right? Remember that night, Jason? We sat here for about, hour and a half, and I just asked you every question from the time you were 5 years old till present time, and we dig deep, and that way we kind of get all that information accumulated before we actually do the interview, and any musician that's ever had the opportunity to go on the radio, usually what happens is a morning drive format or something, right?
Yeah.
They got you in the office or in the lobby. They grab you. You're in and out in 15 minutes. You barely have time to figure out what the DJ's name is. The only reason you know it's because you spent time promoting it online before you came in, right?
Right.
And, you really don't get a chance to do anything except promote your show, and you're pretty much out of there. So we wanted to provide the opportunity to really sit down and get to know the people that we're watching every weekend.
Yeah.
And we found out in that pre-interview, we really got to know some of the guys we've known our entire lives a little bit better.
Yeah.
And so instead of just playing the interview we played before, what I did was I actually I took that pre-interview where we just sat and kind of casually talked.
Right.
Because from what I understand, and the people that know Gus can probably tell us more than I know,
Yeah.
Gus was the kind of guy that if you went over and hung out with him, he'd tell you about all the bands and, different things that were happening. He was on top of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And you could really hear that in this interview because he had prepared for us. He came in, knowing, because we had interviewed him previously on the phone.
Right.
And we grilled Fritz Beer, his buddy, real good for about 2 hours on his interview.
Fritz gave him the heads up. Yeah. Hey, man, they're going to get you.
I think Fritz kind of mentioned psychotherapy was what it was like for him.
Right. Well, it's supposed to be like hanging out.
Go through your life history,
It's kind of a little of both. A little bit like hanging out with your buddies and them giving you psychotherapy, I guess. I don't know.
Right. And, a lot of the guys that listen to this show
and gals
have been through what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And really, this is for us. We all we're gonna miss Gus a lot. Good dude, easygoing guy. And I thought this was a way for all of us who had sat in a room and done this with Gus to kind of
stir up those feelings again.
Right, yeah. So
remember those great conversations sitting around a bedroom or around a dank basement listening to records and shooting the breeze.
Now, we've been told that our show is kind of like that anyways, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
But I think the pre-interviews even goes there a little more.
As laid back as we are on air, it gets even more laid back off, for sure.
We're never shy about talking about how bad we are at this.
No. Horrible at it.
This ain't some kind of preface just to show, look, we weren't even paying attention, but we're kind of in the background, and Gus does most of the talking. So I think it'll really give you an idea, if you never knew Gus, what it was like to just sit and hang out with him. And for the people that did, I think they're going to feel like they're in the room with him again here for a minute. So hang on to your hats, folks. Here is a good friend of ours, Mr. Gus Kodros, who passed away. This is an interview we did, and it's never been aired before. We really didn't plan on airing it. But like I said, I think it's a good indication of what Gus was like. And I wanted to pass on that the visitation for Gus is going to be September 6th from 4 to 8 at Gent Funeral Home, with the services September 7th at 10 a.m. at Bridge Church, and that's at 504 East 12th in Alton. And this interview, we just kind of go right into it, and it starts off with Pigpen just making sure that Gus is from Alton, so here it is.
You're from Alton, right?
I am. Let's see, actually, Godfrey, but
even better.
Alton grad.
Alton High School grad.
Yeah. Where'd you say you were living now? A couple hours away?
I live in Rolla, Missouri.
Rolla, that's right. You playing in bands down there?
No, I was playing with with an outfit down there for a bit. Actually, a coworker and her husband, and did wineries and that sort of thing around the area and so on. But yes, did that for a bit, and then the Bishops reunion came along.
Yeah.
So I'll do that every now and again when the planets align, and that's fun to do.
Yeah. Pretty good turnout for that too.
Yeah, we broke the bar sales record that evening.
Awesome.
That last reunion thing that we did outside.
Elijah Pease,
Yeah, Elijah Pease.
Did you start playing music in school, or did you play?
I started playing drums way back in grade school. I didn't get my first kit until I was 16. Actually, it was one of those things where I earned up all the money, cutting grass and whatnot, and then my punk rock friend from high school, one of many actually, but a gal named Sarah Ulrich, who actually is in an outfit now called Sarah Jane and the Blue Notes. We it was like me and her and a guitar player. We never played anywhere, but we called ourselves a band, sort of deal. So we did that, and then I was asked to be in the Plague.
Yeah.
With those, at that time it was like Tom Green and Bill Ingersoll and Doug Bechet. I never played anywhere with them either. That was like pre showbiz dances,
You guys didn't play
I was
with
about to
the youth
say.
center or anything?
I never played a show with them. We played like Tom Green's basement, and that was it.
And how do I remember the Plague?
Well, they did play. They played like. They did eventually play like.
I was thinking
like showbiz and like
remember
Pizza
Showbiz
Limit
Pizza,
and Pizza Limited.
And then there was the youth center uptown. I was thinking like White Trash and them did a show up there or something.
Yeah, that was like after I was. I wound up in a band called Culture Shock with Darren Gray.
Oh yeah.
And I did that for a couple years. Matter of fact, last week I was in that band. We opened for the Descendants down in, it was at the New Values basement down in, I'll talk about all the stuff, but the New Values basement was a sort of like punk new wave clothing store in Clayton. Opened for the Descendants, and then like later that week opened up for the Asexuals, whose singer would eventually, a guy named John Kastner, would eventually go on to work with like Alex Lifeson from Rush.
Wow.
And then the Effigies, which were like a Chicago hardcore, like legendary Chicago hardcore outfit. And then I had to get serious about school because I remember the night opening for the Descendants, I went home and wrote a paper. So that kind of tells you. Seriously. And then I was in Dead Planet.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Still going.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they still do some of my songs.
That's awesome.
I went to go see them a couple times, and I was like, I think I wrote this. Matter of fact, I think I'm credited for thinking up that band name.
Oh, really?
Still. But I did that, and then I moved to Wisconsin, and then that didn't work out, and I came back and went to SIU, and then I joined Palace. And
Palace?
and then I did that.
Had Tony Morales.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't do anything for the longest. We played like, at first we just did like, open mics at like Stagger Inn and that sort of thing. We did that. And then we went back down to the basement and like really played, and then had those like legendary Godfrey Civic Center shows.
Yeah.
Which is still some of the most money I ever made in a band. I went home, going home with, more than $100 in your pockets. Nice,
Yeah, it is.
I have a memory of, I helped Palace out. I was roadieing for like...
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember I roadied for the Undecided. Well, in the band, they got a gig that wanted me to help I do. And I remember it was a weird gig where it was like in the middle of a baseball field or something.
Yeah. It was probably like a Bethalto Battle of the Bands.
Maybe that's what but it was like it was set up in a baseball field.
Right.
Really weird.
That's right.
To me.
Playing like on the back of a flatbed.
Yeah. Like set up in the field and looking out like, hey, I'm on the bases.
And we like won that Battle of the Bands, which was which I think that was pretty wild.
Lance Klein was the singer, man. I grew up right and playing basketball in his backyard every day because they had a basketball court.
Right. Yeah. Lance was the vocalist, and we had Tony Morales, and then let's see.
I can't remember who played. Who else played in that?
I'm still back on Culture Shock because I'm thinking we had somebody in here that played.
Was
it John Valley?
No, John Valley.
It was John Valley.
Well, John Valley was a friend of ours because he did our artwork.
That's right.
Yeah.
He did our artwork. Yeah.
I've been stuck on that ever since. I'm like, who was that?
Yeah,
I'm going through the list of guests.
Darren Gray was the one who inspired him to really get into music.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to get Darren on. He inspired a lot of people around here.
He's just played music around here forever. He's just one of the people we need to get on and have a good time. Yeah,
he's all over the globe, you know.
Yeah. All right. So after Palace, who'd you play with?
I was in the Bishops.
It was straight to the
Palace
Bishops.
dissolved, and then I joined the Bishops, and it's kind of funny. I actually turned down the Bishops to stay in Palace the first time around, and then I ran into Tim on campus one time, and Tim was. Palace had dissolved, and Tim was like, "We're looking for somebody again," and I'm like, "Oh, I'll take it," you know. And then and I did the Bishops for like 5 years. And put out a couple recordings and did a tour. And
you're in the CBGB group, right?
Yeah. I got to play CBGB between two bands. I got to play there 4 times.
Yeah, I remember that from the last interview. And
I was.
Then a photo popped up right after that too.
Yeah. There's one of the Bishops. I have one of the Bishops in front of there, and one with the Small Ball Paul in front of there.
Small Ball Paul.
That was the band that I actually was in. I was in Small Ball Paul after the Bishops for about a year, and then.
And you played CBGBs with them too?
Yeah, I played there twice.
Have you seen that movie about CBGBs?
Yeah.
That's pretty. That was a pretty funny movie.
Yeah. It's one of the world's most famous dives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they had an absolutely incredible sound system there. It was just really great. I remember.
Sounds like 300 State.
Yeah.
Dive
bar with a really kicking. Yeah.
CBG. I remember literally one time, and they even touch on this in the movie. I remember one time walking in the bar, and I saw like this sort of like vinyl record on the floor. I was like, oh well, cool. I picked it up, and it was like literally covering like dog.
Yeah. He just let his dog run around.
Yeah.
They gave the sound man in the movie credit for combat boots coming into punk rock because he just got tired of stepping in dog. So he started wearing combat boots, and suddenly that was like the thing. Yeah. So after 5 years of the Bishops, you end up with Small Ball Paul. How long were you with them?
I was there. I was with them for a year. It was we were on a subsidiary of Sony. We toured with a band called Love Battery, who were on Sub Pop, and they were going to like a major label at the time. And then what's interesting about that is their bass player was a guitar player for Mother Love Bone, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge Green River fan. And then their drummer went on to be presidents of the United States of America.
Okay, I remember them.
Yeah. We toured with them, and then
punk rock started showing up. Yeah.
And then we toured with the Bad Brains.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool.
Those guys.
Yeah.
That was my last week in the band, and I got to play CBGB not CBGB, Mississippi Nights.
Oh, okay.
Mississippi Nights, and it was packed.
Our CBGBs.
Yeah.
Our CBGB.
It kind of was.
Yeah,
we
it
talked
really
about
was.
how that was a pinnacle for a long time, is getting to Mississippi Nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, did that. We played CBGB a couple times, recorded with Thirsty Ear, and then I had to get serious about my video career.
Yeah, we didn't even get to that part yet.
Yeah, and then I did that, and didn't play for like several years, and then started playing drums like in church. I did that for a while, and then did like I remember sometimes would go over to like Tim Bramstead's house and from the Bishops and play, and that's once in a while. And then I eventually moved to Kentucky. Then I came back, and I played some drums down there a little bit, and then I started playing like open mics at Pie Saw Winery and Pub in Grafton, where my nephew was like hosting these open mics there, and that was a lot of fun. And then they actually wound up doing like things like folk dances in Elsa, and that was kind of fun to do. And then moved to Rolla, and then played with an outfit down there called Diesel Fitter, like playing wineries around the area and so on. And
Was it your video work that got you to Rolla?
it was, yeah. A former supervisor, I called her for a reference. She was my former supervisor in the ECTV in Edwardsville.
Okay.
And she's like, I got the job for you, and then told me about this position because she was working at our facility in UMSL at University of Missouri St. Louis. And but she's like, it's down in Rolla. I'm like, I don't know, because I hadn't been to Rolla since like the late '80s, like playing frat parties with the bishops and whatnot. And I met somebody via two-way video, like when she gave me a tour of the facility there, and I was like, oh yeah, well sure, because full-time job in my field,
Yeah.
So then I moved down to Rolla in December 2011, and then it was about a year later that there were rumblings of a Bishop's reunion.
Yeah.
And I remember it really kind of started, Fritz was going to do, and I talked about this last time, but Fritz was going to do a thing down at Bossa Nova, and somebody was like, well, are you going to play? And I'm like, oh, not unless he asks, and then he asked, and Tim wound up playing, and so it was kind of like a sort of, I don't know, I think it was like a good sort of like warm-up kind of thing, and got people interested, and there was a good, actually, Bossa Nova was packed, so that was pretty cool. And then actually we were also supposed to do that big Judge Nothing reunion gig at Foo Bar, but we couldn't do it at the time. Actually, Ben, the bass player, his wife was due like any time, so he wanted to, obviously that goes
Well, you
first.
did one at like the Masonic Hall, right?
We did that later that year, and then that was a blast. It was like us and Judge Nothing and Autumn Clock. It was I had a lot of fun.
Which you guys played a ton of gigs together back in the day.
Yeah.
3 bands.
When I remember when I was 21, we just played wow. We played a lot. When I was 20 going on 21 when I first joined that band, and we just played a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a sort of a thing where I had so much going on, like when I first turned 21, you think you're superhuman, and I was, also DJing at like WSIE at the time, like the Overnight, the Underexposed, sort of like alternative music program, and it was just crazy.
Yeah.
Playing a lot and everything, but I was very much caffeine fueled at the time. I was at the coffee machine. They had pre-energy drinks. You had the the 30 cent coffees in the 30 cent like bad coffee in the coffee machines. So I'd be getting one of those between every class, But yeah, fun times. But yeah, we played a lot. And
what do you do in the video world specifically?
Oh, okay.
Is it mainly editing, or?
Well, actually, the way that it works, it's called the Video Communications Center.
Okay.
It's Missouri University of Science and Technology. It used to be University of Missouri Rolla.
Okay.
And basically we have like 8 to 10 classrooms throughout campus that are outfitted with like high definition video cameras, like anywhere to 2 to 4 remotely controlled high definition video cameras, and then that will go out live for distance students, then they can also watch in archives later on. It's primarily like post-grad students.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that for about 5 years now, and then I'll also do things like recently we did the commencement ceremonies, and I was like sort of one of the lead producers of that. So I'll do stuff like that, and then like Condoleezza Rice came to speak at the school, and I got to record that. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And people who take programs, distance programs throughout the country, say that what they see us do. Well, we were rated, I think, number 9, like U.S. News and World Report for the work that we do, or the distance program, but we're a part of that. But there are people that say that what we do is pretty high quality compared to, what some of the other schools in the country do. So I mean, that's nice to hear. I like going to work every day. I mean, that's nice to be able to say.
Whatever it is you do, if you can say you like going to it, that's the best. So.
And I work with some really talented people. And I initially wanted to be a DJ, and that's what I wanted to do. And then I took a TV production class, and not that I was great on the video switcher, but my production instructor at the time was like, I think this is something you should look into.
Yeah.
So.
Funny ECTV. I've got an ECTV video up on our YouTube channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Well, Doug Jenkins had a show on there, and then Eric Harnato would also be on his show every now and again.
This was just a show of us, a charity event we did out at Lewis and Clark.
Spring Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember recording. I remember.
1992.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Flipping cows and I don't remember who all was on it.
I remember recording one. There was Judge Nothing played one, and that I remember the first one was 1991. I remember recording that.
Yeah, and it was Judge Nothing. I'm pretty.
We were all there, man.
That was the first time I saw Autumn Clock.
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
All right, cool. You want to roll into this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I was also going to say, I remember the one time doing a show with Cottonmouth out at place off a seminary, like you guys playing a flat
That's where
bed.
it was. Me and Fritz were trying to remember where the hell we played. We knew we played together at some point, but we're like,
I was like, these guys are great.
There you go, Gus Kodros the third, and talking about some of the parties we had together right there at the end.
Yeah,
he did the video out there at Lewis and Clark College for those spring jams. Remember doing those?
Oh yeah, I've actually got some video of those somewhere on VHS tape. If I dug through my VHS tapes, man, those were some good shows, and what a fun stage to play. There was room to roam around on that stage.
Oh yeah, Hathaway Hall. We loved it being up there.
Yeah, you could run for you could sprint for a few seconds before you had to stop. So,
but yeah, Gus is going to be sorely missed, and a lot of friends out there definitely mourning over the loss of Gus, and we send out our sympathy to them. And once again, the visitation 4 to 8, September 6th at Gent Funeral Home, September 7th for the funeral at 10 a.m. at Bridge Church, 504 East 12th in Alton. And tough loss there, man.
Yeah,
we've had to do this too many times over the last few years, and it's just part of what we do, but.
But it won't happen again for a while. This is gonna be the last one for a while. I got a good feeling.
I got a good feeling. We're gonna shift gears now. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk to Gordo about what he's gonna be doing in town here again.
All right, and we're gonna cover what's going on Friday and Saturday in the scene. So.
Oh man, there is so much going on. We're fortunate to have the music scene we got. So we'll take a quick break, and don't forget, Riverbend Talent brought to you by the Halpin Music Company. Make sure you stop in, sign the kids up for next month's Kid Rocks. And the crazy deal of the week, get $100 off a Korg SP 280 electric piano. That's only through the 7th, though, so you got to get there. So, and they have weekly deals on the Facebook page. And don't forget, Mr. Matt Van Voorhis for all your insurance need. Macias Insurance. They help us out, so help them out.
He insures me.
That's right. I don't know why anyone would do that, but he does that with you.
If he can insure me, he can insure you. He can insure anyone. So
we'll be back with more Riverbend Talent right after this.
Check out the look of the camera pits. water's running. It's running on you with the vengeance to cover this joke. That's all we know. How to get back home. Like swallow. That's all we know. How to get back home. Like swallow. That's all we know. How to get back home. Like swallow.
And now more Riverbend talent.
With Dennis Laird and Pig Pen.
Back with more Riverbend talent here on the Big Z. I'm Dennis. And,
Yeah, we are. And I'm Pigpen.
Yeah.
And sitting next to me is Mr. Jason Gordon,
Yes, sir.
affectionately known as Gordo.
A nickname I couldn't outrun if I tried.
Well, with a name like Gordon, it's hard to not be, hey, Gordo! Right?
Yeah.
Nobody's got time to say Gordon. Throwing that in.
Yeah, you know. Gordo's just easier.
Right? And for the folks that don't know, Gordo grew up around here and then hit the trail, man. You're living out in Phoenix, right now?
Well, we're living in the Phoenix area for the winter months, and then we pretty much travel during the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what a lot of people don't know about him? He played at my wedding.
Yeah?
Well, my wedding reception. That was when he was in the Stubblefield band.
That's been a while back.
That was a while back.
That was a good time,
Blast from the past on that one.
It's funny how things happen in chapters, man. I would have never, ever in my wildest dreams thought I'd end up playing in Stubblefield. I remember being 14, 15,
Right.
sitting outside listening to them thinking, these guys are gods,
Yeah,
you know?
oh yeah, heck yeah.
And then a handful of years later, I'm playing with them. Wow,
Right.
man. You just never know.
You just never know.
Yeah. And that full-length interview you can get at the AltonDailyNews.com podcast when I laid you out on the table and said, I'm going to pull all this information out of you for
Oh, yeah.
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We got pretty deep into that, but I wanted to retouch it for folks tuning in, trying to remember who we're talking to again this week, right? And you've been all over the place.
We have,
playing.
Yeah, doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
We're about halfway through the travels this year. We still got a ways to go.
Yeah. Bouncing
more
back
miles.
and forth from Arkansas to here right now, kind of, right?
Yeah, we were in Arkansas last week, and then next we'll be here for about 2 weeks now, and then after that we'll be back in Arkansas, and then we'll be back in Illinois, up closer to Chicago. We're doing some zigzagging this year, but that's just the way the dice fell, you know.
Right.
Right. So tomorrow night you'll be at the Great Rivers
Great
Tap
Rivers
and
Tap.
Grill,
Yep.
right? You usually stop in there when you're in town, right?
Yep,
Do a show?
that's a regular stop. Yep, that's a good time. It's a patio gig, so we'll be outside on their back patio.
Nice. Good weather for that right
Oh, it's
now.
beautiful. Yeah.
Right. And then the next night, Merrimack Jacks, right?
Right, that's over in Valley Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, just across the river there. So it's not terribly far. It's a great spot. I used to play there every month. So that's another place that I always try to hit when I'm here, you know.
Right.
Right. And then back in Alton on the 13th with Sneaky Pete
Sneaky Pete and friends, yep.
at Bluff City Grill.
Right.
And that's also going to be outdoor.
The weather permitting, yeah, that's the plan.
Man,
Yeah.
nice. That's going to be a good
I know you guys
time.
have had a pretty wet season this year, so I got my fingers crossed, man. It's going to be too big of a band of stuff inside, but if that's what has to happen, that's what will happen.
And then you head back down to Fayetteville, Arkansas, right? For a show?
Yeah, we got a show, a new place down in Fayetteville, and then Eureka Springs. And then we'll be
Nice.
back up here in Alton, or well, not Alton, but Joliet.
Hillsboro, right?
Yeah,
You
we got right. You're right. Hillsboro on the way to Joliet.
Courthouse Pub, right?
Right.
And then all the way up to Chicago, right?
Yep, Joliet, just outside of Chicago. Got a couple shows there. A fellow I met in Phoenix that saw me playing, and he booked me to come up for that. So we got a few nights there, and then we'll hit the Myrtle Beach area for the Biketoberfest.
Ooh,
We're doing
love that
doing a lot of the bike rallies around the country. So we got Biketoberfest in Myrtle Beach and Daytona and Tampa, and then on down by Halloween, hopefully down to the Keys again. Weather permitting, we'll see what happens with this with these hurricanes and stuff. We'll see what happens.
And for the folks that don't know, Jason, you do a one-man band type show most of the time, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
And that's with loop machines, right?
Right.
You use?
Yeah, I use multiple loop pedals and just kind of build the entire song as I go. And
right in front of people, you build
build the entire song from the ground up, using those loop pedals. And it's a modern-day one-man band. I don't have to have the cymbals strapped between my knees anymore.
Right.
Do you
big old bass drum?
Yeah, I got the bass drum on my back.
to
Man,
your
that's a hard way to go, brother.
Is anything pre-recorded, or is it all just built as you go there?
Yeah, nothing's pre-recorded. I just build the entire show, and then when it's done, I just delete it, start over the next night. So everything's it's kind of like having a recording studio at my feet, and I'm able to just build the entire song live in front of the crowd. And
so there's probably somebody out there going, "What does he mean build? Has he got a hammer and nails?" So what he'll do?
Yeah, he
is,
does.
So
he
what he'll
hammer
do?
And nails. It's amazing.
Someone who's never built a song, probably going, "How do you build a song in front of people?" So the way he does it is, let's say he starts with a bass. He'll play the bass line and put that on a loop. So now the bass line's playing on a loop. Then he goes and puts the drums on a loop.
Right.
And then he puts the keyboard on a loop, and then he plays the guitar on a loop, and now all of a sudden all these instruments are playing. Guitar solo, whip out the guitar solo. Got a piano piece, jump. So he's jumping back and forth between all of the instruments and making a song happen.
Yep, just building it from the ground up, and you can add the vocals and the harmonies and the keyboards and the harmonica and the horns and anything you can think of. You can just keep layering and layering and layering until it just turns into madness, and you have to stop it.
This monster's got out of control.
So you've been doing that for quite some time, but you get the itch to jam with other people.
Oh, man, I do. I'd be the last person to complain about what I'm doing. I love the solo thing. It lets me travel and us travel. I should say. My fiance Colleen is the manager of the outfit, and she works her butt off. She books shows all over the country. She just got me booked in Rocky Point, Mexico for the rally here in November. So we'll be going down to Mexico for our first time down there, so it is officially an international tour, that's exciting to say. That just sounds cool, man.
I love it, man.
Yeah, we've got a couple 3 nights down there, but no, I do. I'm starved to play with other musicians. You get to it. You can only play with yourself for so long.
Really? I haven't got to that point.
Believe me, man. You start getting chafed. You gotta have other people to.
Hey, speaking about Colleen, one of my favorite stories about her is, and you told this the last time you were on, is when you played the Whiskey a Go-Go, and she's like, "I'm going to get you a gig there."
Yeah, she was new to the whole management thing.
Brand new at it.
Right, she had just taken over doing the booking and hadn't really booked much yet. And I'm thinking, well, okay, she's a little naive here. She's going to get me booked at the Whiskey a Go-Go. So I kind of laughed it off, like, yeah, right, okay, good luck. She comes back 2 days later. She goes, "Hey, I got you booked at the Whiskey a Go-Go."
Nice.
It's like, get the heck out of here, man.
Okay,
not once, but she actually got me booked twice, so I ended up playing twice there.
So now we've got to find a tour bus full of people willing to join us for the evening to fill the crowd out.
That's it, man. Yeah, that was an experience.
Wasn't Carmine Apiece involved in that?
That was one of the times I played. He was the headliner. Yeah, him and his brother. They did a dueling drum wars kind of thing, and it was just insanity.
Yeah,
he's okay.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I'd say he's pretty good.
So you'll be out at the Great Rivers Tap and Grill on Friday night from 5 to 8 o'clock.
I believe that's right. Yeah.
Your buddy Matt Taul will be up at Bigelos Bistro on Friday night from 6 to 9.
I haven't seen Matt for a while.
You guys should get together and do something.
I would love to.
I'm still pushing you towards some originals. I heard one of them you were working on.
I've got a handful of originals. For whatever reason or other, I tend to write sad songs. So if I'm playing the bar scene and stuff, I try to keep things upbeat and keep things recognizable. I'd bum everybody out if I start playing my originals. I think there's a market for what the stuff I write, but not necessarily the bar scene.
Right. Yeah.
It's not party music.
It's not really a party song. Song about my grandma dying, just bum everybody out.
Yeah. Right.
Give me another whiskey.
Yeah. They might like that down in Texas.
Well, there are places that they like it. I've got bars that I've played it at that I can't come through without having to play that song.
That's good.
So, yeah.
So you want to go over what else is going on Friday night while we're on the subject?
Oh, yeah. We got
with Aaron Griffin Trio.
Griffin Trio at Chez, Marilyn on Friday evening.
That's at 8 o'clock. Bad Habit at 9:30 at the Pump House in Wood River.
We got Scott and Karl, 6 p.m. at the Loading Dock in Grafton.
Mondin Acoustic, 8 p.m. at the Franchise Sports Bar and Grill in Wood River.
And we got,
Somebody
I don't
at
know
the
who it's
Stagger Inn,
staggering, but from 5 to 8 and then from 9 p.m. there's going to be somebody at Stagger.
See, what they do is they take a picture of the chalkboard that has all the bands for the month.
Right.
So at the beginning of the month,
There's
the
not-
Facebook
yeah.
page is a little behind until they take that picture.
Hey, people, take the picture.
But everybody knows you go to the Stagger Inn, you're seeing music.
You're going to see somebody good. And it's set up as a place to listen to music. 2 rooms, one for drinking and talking and one for listening to music. So
that's a good deal.
I like it that way. Pat Jones, 6 p.m. at the Hawg Pit in Grafton.
HOOKiE doing Bakers and Hale at 7 o'clock on Friday night.
And we've got
I left
Nelly
just
at
for you.
8 p.m. at the Liberty Bank Amphitheatre in Alton. So, wow, there you go. Nelly coming to town.
You doing any Nelly songs?
No, I was working on one, but I figure he'll probably play it. That was one. That was it right there.
I don't know.
It loops beautifully.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I bet that's pretty an easy looper right there, man.
Because you do. You go all over the place with the songs that you cover.
Yeah, well, I try to jump around a bit and, try to touch on everything if I can.
All right. That's pretty cool. I like it when bands don't necessarily stick to a genre, but,
Yeah, well, there's just so much good music out there.
Right.
There's just so much good music, man.
Absolutely.
Why box yourself in?
Yeah.
We talked, Pigpen, about the Calhoun County Fair kicking off tonight, and on Friday night they'll have Backwoods Burden from 8 to 11.
Cool.
You had some good times up in Hardin.
Oh, man, there was a bar called Big Al's up
Yeah.
there for years and years, man. Every Wednesday and Thursday is a house gig up there for years. It was great. A lot of booze consumed in that place. And
They had some fun up in Hardin.
oh, man, I'm telling you, it was a Wednesday and Thursday, and it went on for years, and them people partied. Every Wednesday and Thursday, that bar was packed, man. And just a fabulous time up there. And how great is it to have a house gig on Wednesday and Thursday? Because then you got Friday and Saturday. You can always,
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Yeah, good times in Hardin, Illinois. Everybody get up to the Calhoun County Fair. Backwoods Burden this weekend, or this Friday.
Yeah.
Flip the Frog, 8 p.m. at the at JJ Thermos in East Alton. That's the new one we've just been talking about.
Right,
I've
down in
not got to
Eastgate.
see it yet. Yeah.
Down Eastgate. But they got Flip the Frog, so they're getting serious now.
Yeah, they are.
You
They're-
Flip the Frog down there, you're doing real things, man.
Right.
You're getting some of the main cover bands from around town.
There you go.
Small Thing is going to be at the Back Bar in Edwardsville, 9 p.m. on Friday.
Our buddy Jack Tweston and the Skylark brothers will be at the Brown Bag Bistro, 5 p.m. on Friday evening.
I think Jason would be good at the Brown Bag Bistro, don't you?
He'd be great there.
On a Sunday afternoon?
Oh,
Be
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. And he'd let Pat Liston stay home for a Sunday.
Yeah. Doc Holiday Band doing Deutsville again on Friday, 9:30.
Got Lanny and Julie, 6 p.m. at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville.
And, I like to follow some of the original bands that have been on the show, and they go over in St. Louis and play, because that's one of the hardest things to do is try to get people to go over to St. Louis and follow your original material.
Yeah, right. It's
So-
not that far of a drive, people. It's really not.
So R6 Implant is our buddies, but people go, what? They never had them on? Yeah,
No.
we did, sort of.
Well,
It's
we had
Fragile Porcelain Mice, pretty
right,
much.
Right.
It's two of the guys.
Dave Winkler
and Scott.
it's Dave and Scott from Fragile.
Right. And they'll be with Dead Rider and Subtropolis, 8:30 at the Firebird in St. Louis on Friday night.
There you go, man. Good
So
for
now
them.
we move into Saturday. That's a short list.
You know what?
What-
Hey, side note, we're going to have to get them to come in and talk about R6 Implant.
Well, we will.
Yeah.
And the Illuminati.
All that stuff.
I got
all
some-
of it. All of it.
Mr.
Dave
Winkler.
Winkler.
Hey, man, I just seen the DiBiase video from Rock the Hops.
Yeah? How
yeah.
was it? Pretty good?
I watched it over and over.
How
Yeah,
nice,
it was
nice.
really good. You
Yeah.
guys did a great job on sound.
Thank you very much. It was a good time, and those guys, man, what an easy band. Not too hard to mix a band
So
like
tight.
DiBiase.
Yeah.
They're tight as could be.
Great three-piece.
Yeah, three-piece power trio.
That's
Easy-
the
easy
guitarist
peasy.
who used to be in Ring Cicada, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to Saturday, because we got a lot to talk about still, Pigpen.
All right, let's
A lot.
fly through it.
Down at Jacoby's, they're doing this thing called Piasaw Summer, right?
Right.
And Lucy Goosey does this, okay?
All right,
It's the
I
eighth-
like it already.
Well, it's the 8th annual, so they're not playing around. And it's a lot of artists. So we got artists Glenn Bowman, Katie Beckwith, Tim Goosewell, Kendra Green, Steve Harris, Spencer Addison, Hughes, I think. They're all running together. Look at that.
Yeah, I see that.
Now what do I do?
Zoe Hewlett,
Right?
Christine
Yeah.
Lewowski Husselman.
I left that one for you.
All right, I'll take
Corey
that
Langford.
one.
How about Jenna? What's her last name?
Muscalera.
Muscalera, right?
Yeah.
Christopher Perkins Cook, and then some musicians as well. I'll let you do those.
Dangerous Easy Ghost Sister. I don't know if that's
put 'em all together.
Wizard. It's Dangerous Easy Ghost Sister Wizard. Man, those guys are good. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
That's not even close to dangerous. That's Drangus.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. As soon as I saw all these words, I'm like, they don't make sense together.
Easy Ghost and Sister Wizard. There's so much going on. It's like, man, it all runs together. But,
Yeah.
And that's just down at Jacoby's.
There you
right?
go, right.
So also going on Saturday, the Alton Jazz and Wine Festival, right? Diane Shure, the Funky Butt Brass Band.
Love those guys.
And the Good for the Soul Band, 4 o'clock. Liberty Bank, Alton Amphitheatre, $12 to $20. Tickets running on that one.
There you go.
Our buddies, Mars Needs Guitars, doing that Ted's Motorcycle World thing from 11 to 3.
Excellent. Got Darian Rowe at the Old Bakery Brewery at 7 p.m.
That'll be good.
On Saturday.
Go down and see
Good
Darian,
for,
yeah.
Good for DJ.
Mm-hmm. Paul Cruda down at Morrison's Irish Pub.
Got Thurston Howell. Love that name. Thurston Howell. 8 p.m. at Chez Marilyn's on Saturday evening.
Exit 52, 9:30 at the Third Shoot in Alton.
Yeah, the new rock and roll venue there. We got the Vault, 5 to 8 p.m., and Trixie Delight at 9:30 p.m. at the Pump House on Saturday.
And Bud Summers at noon, and then Steve Klein at 5 o'clock at the Brown Bag Bistro in Alton.
There you go, man. And then Amped Up will be at Doc Holliday's in Cottage Hills.
And we're still on Saturday, folks.
We
We got a
still on
long way to
Saturday.
go. An entire page here.
No, we don't.
Yes,
we
we
do.
do.
Oh, my gosh.
J and TJ, 1 o'clock at the Hawg Pit in Grafton. They'll probably have a 6 o'clock, too, but I don't think they had it quite booked when I did their thing.
Got Jeff Newman, 3 p.m. at Aries Winery.
Right, Big Wheel, 3 to 7 at Grafton Winery.
Backwoods Burden, 4 to 8 p.m. Grafton Pub.
The Scarecrows at 7 at Grafton Oyster Bar.
Jonathan Baker Duo, the Jonathan Baker Duo, 3 to 7 p.m. Mike LaRosa's Cabana Bar.
Portage de Sioux, right across
just
the river.
across
And they're just getting going again, man, from the flood. So
They were the last bar to open up from the flood, so show them some love, people.
You got Quincy Corin and the Jaded Pearls, 9 p.m. at the Back Bar in Edwardsville. Something happening at the
Stagger. We don't know what, but we got Lady Luck, 6 p.m. at Wild Pickens up in Chesterfield.
Mm-hmm. Agent 99 at 8 p.m. at Rooster's Pub in Staunton.
Flip the Frog is going to be at Tracy's in Godfrey.
Mm-hmm. Hot Box, 7 o'clock at DeCamp Station in Staunton.
And what do we got here? Amara's, what?
This is a show going on at...
Rockin' and Recovery, hosted by Katie Cruz.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's your friend Katie Cruz.
I haven't seen her for years.
Well,
man.
go out to St. Louis Regional Airport Saturday. Get her to come on the show.
I might have to go out. Wow.
It's a free concert.
I might go out and I don't know what she's doing these days. I haven't talked to her for years.
We got Soul Cracker, Brian White, and Exile from 3:30 to 10 at St. Louis Regional Airport in Bethalto.
There you go. The Katie Cruz took me by surprise.
I know, you're freaking out.
That's what happens when I cold read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love it when
I
you cold read.
I haven't
love
seen
it
her
when
in
you
like
cold
10
read.
years. I don't know, 10, 15, 20, I don't know how many years. But anyway.
Cold read about Lead Sled.
Lead Sled is going to be at Big John's in Hardin, Illinois. And
Was that place you were talking about?
I don't know if Big Al's was what it used to be called, but it might be Big John's now.
They could be brothers.
They could be, or John might be one of Big Al's many children.
That could be true.
I don't know if he's got any kids.
Also up in Hardin, the Calhoun County Fair again on Saturday from 8 to 11, back in the saddle.
There you go. And then there's the When I'm 64 Beatles Festival going on up in Prairie Town from noon until 9 p.m. It's 7 bands, all Beatles, all day long. Side note, the guys from Goose Miller Band did that last year.
Yeah.
And it almost broke them up, I heard.
Really?
They did it all instrumentally and not they didn't do them the Beatles standardly, and apparently they put a lot of time into it, and apparently some people were not happy with their renditions.
Wow.
They wanted them a little more standard.
Wow.
So,
Wonder what they would have said to Jeff Beck if he showed up and played While My Guitar Gently Weeps, because to me that's way better than the original. I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, people, ease up on what you think something needs to be. It ain't.
Okay.
It don't have to be like this or like
All right,
that.
I'll ease up then.
Not you.
Okay.
All those other people.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about. All right,
That's good. I was starting to ease up there.
Doc Holliday Band, 9:30 p.m. at Deutz Village Inn in Pontoon Beach.
Our buddies Cherry Hill doing 9:30 at Patrick's in Granite City. That's the old Eddie's.
Yep, we got the Metro East Humane Society's Woodstock.
Woofstock.
Oh,
Come on.
I don't even.
Woof like dogs.
Yeah, Woofstock.
See,
All right.
Humane Society, Woofstock.
Oh,
You catching up with the festival?
Yuck. Yeah, I get it.
It's your buddies, though, playing.
Who is it? Oh, Spilly Nelson. Look at that. Cool.
Yeah.
You got Spilly Nelson at the Triangle H Farms. That's out on South Moreland Road in Edwardsville. Cool. Good for Spilly. Those
Yeah,
guys are a lot of
raising
fun.
money for Metro East Humane Society from 11 to 3. Probably playing for free. That's what those
I would
bands
imagine.
do, right?
I would imagine. So there you go.
So that finally gets us to
that
Sunday.
takes us to, man, that is a lot of gigs.
Yeah, I know. Look what time it is.
Oh, wow. We better hurry up.
Yeah, we better get through this.
All right. Mondin Band, 10 p.m. at Mike's Tin Pen.
Open mic every Sunday and Wednesday at the Stagger Inn in Edwardsville.
Helen Back. I like it. 2:30 to 6:30 at Third Shoot in Alton.
Right.
Hey, Helen.
We'll see you back here. Robbie Miles, 3 p.m. at Baker's and Hale and Godfrey.
Nightlife, 2 to 6 p.m. Wild Pickens at Chesterfield.
Jason's played up in Wild Pickens, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great spot.
Yeah.
Great spot.
I
Beautiful out
saw
there.
him play there at Alex Honky's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
which
you
was
go.
also, as it happens, my sister's wedding.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I
How'd
didn't
that
wanna,
happen?
I didn't want to bring her into
Yeah.
this whole thing.
Yeah, well, it's probably for the best.
Now everyone knows how it's
You're
all
in
one
trouble.
family.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, there you go. So, hey, I saw this guy right outside Schnucks yesterday hollering at me from his Cadillac. Big George Brock Jr. and the NGK band, 2 to 6 p.m. at the Grafton Winery on Sunday.
He was hollering at you?
Yes, I was walking out of Schnucks yesterday. He was sitting in his car hollering at me.
Yeah. Was you having a barbecue?
I was picking up some kebabs to put on the grill, for sure.
Didn't invite me again. Got a pool and everything now. And I haven't seen you all summer.
That's because I've been working on the pool. I haven't got to swim in it. I've been working on it. But
You forgot to mention John Jarrett
did I
at
skip
2 p.m.
John?
at Aries Winery. Because I'm going to leave you with the one right under Big George Brock. That's you.
Robert Left Preacher Sampson.
Right?
1 p.m. at the Hog Pit. Left Preacher. He's preaching from left field, people.
I guess so.
I guess so. I don't know.
Trilogy, 3 p.m. at the Loading Dock in Grafton.
Grafton's Art in the Park. 11 to 5 p.m. at the Grove Memorial Park in Grafton.
The STL Dogs doing Michael Rose's Cabana Bar in Portage de Sioux from 3 to 7 on Sunday.
We got Lanny and Julie, 5 p.m. at the Back Bar in Edwardsville.
Jake Weber, 2 o'clock at Third Shoot in Grafton.
Skylark Brothers at 60s Minor Park in Glen Carbon, Illinois. That's Sunday.
Brian Kelvey, 4 to 7 at Tri-County Rod and Gun Club in Brighton.
We got the Calhoun County Fair still going on.
Sunday.
Entertainment during the pageant is Garcia Harrison.
Gracia.
Gracia,
Harrison.
there it
You
is.
get her name wrong
Gracia.
every time.
I don't know. I got to meet her one time. I don't know.
Right.
Gracia.
Riding Shotgun, 3 o'clock at Hoodoo Dats Southern Food in Collinsville, and then an open mic every Monday night at the Bottle and Barrel, hosted by the Extraordinary Blues Band. And we wanted to mention that the Alton Expo kicks off next week, and it kicks off on Wednesday night. And since we don't get here till Thursday, we wanted to let you know that it's going to be kicked off with our buddies, the Warehouse Project, from 7 to 11. At the
Nice.
Alton Expo.
Good,
All right.
good way to start the show. So, hey, thanks again to our buddy Jason Gordon for coming in.
And thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
Absolutely. Always good to
happening
see you
around our
guys.
little town these
There's
days,
a lot
huh?
happening. Wow.
You need to start booking some more gigs around here.
We'll put it on my manager there and
Wow.
tell her she's got some work to do.
We'll tell her that you can find all of these gigs listed at cottonmouth.org, so she doesn't even have, she'll be able to just go, oh, I can just look at that.
Yeah. Well, I got
There you
your
go.
card. I'll pass it on to her.
Something I forgot to mention earlier, after we finished up the Gus Kodros portion of the show,
Yeah.
what we're going to do on the video version, which will be out tomorrow on YouTube, right? We're going to put the small ball video that he did, the MTV video that he did right after that interview. So if you've never seen that, chance to check it. Pretty cool. Somebody from our area doing an MTV video.
Yep. Getting a video on MTV back when MTV played videos was kind of like getting your song on radio before there was an MTV or, I'm just saying that was big time. It was like, wow.
And our
Now
sympathies-
MTV doesn't play videos.
Right.
They just do 16 and Pregnant or something. I don't know.
Our sympathies once again to all the friends of Gus Kodros III, and once again the visitation tomorrow 4 to 8 at Gent Funeral Home, and then the funeral Saturday at 10 a.m. Bridge Church, 504 East 12th in Alton. You'll be missed, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks again to Jason Gordon for coming in. Check him out at the Great Rivers Tap and Grill tomorrow night.
Yep.
And was it a
5
week from
days,
now?
I believe.
The
2
13th.
weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now. Love City Grill.
Sneaky Pete and Friends, 7 to 11.
Looking forward to that one. That last one was great.
Well, thank you, man. We put a lot of time into it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Spanish Moon.
You got a lot of friends, too.
Well,
Quite a few people when you say friends.
yeah, Sneaky Pete and Friends. Yeah. We need it. We're gonna need a bigger stage, man. We keep
Sneaky
on adding.
Pete and orchestra.
And there's still room, guys. If there's anybody out there that plays trumpets, saxophones, trombones, whatever,
They're still looking for someone?
we're still looking for players. You know,
Okay.
we're still trying to piece this thing together. So,
Will they just show up and join you, or?
well, just have if they want to get in touch with me. I've as far as the horns, I've got charts for all the material we're doing.
How do they get in contact?
They can
with
get
you?
in touch with me. My email is gordoentertainment@yahoo.com.
That's easy.
Or they could go to my website, jasongordogordon.com.
Jason Gordo Gordon on Facebook, right?
jasongordogordon.com is my website,
Right.
which has links to Facebook and
Right.
all that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So any horn players, what about string players?
String players, too. I'd love
Fiddles?
to have some more violins or, fiddles, violin,
Yeah.
Pigpen's going to play trombone.
There you go.
Yeah, that's...
Aaron Joe Paddlefoot, I know you're out there listening. I have your washboard. Come and get it, and you can play fiddle with this guy.
Or washboard.
Hey, man, there you go. Washboard,
Play
even.
washboard.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get her washboard back and jam a song.
I'm not giving it back. She's got to come take it. I've been having fun with that thing.
Oh, she will come and take it, so you better
Sitting
watch it.
poolside, having drinks, playing a washboard.
Bring it to Sneaky Pete. We'll put some use to it.
Can we play chicken in the straw?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent, man. I'm good at that one.
Yeah. Let you do that one all by yourself on set break. You know. We'll mic you up, buddy.
Well, Pigpen, we've done it again. We've went way over our
Oh,
time.
jeez. Clark
But-
Howard's going to hate us.
Well, Clark, he's been knocking at the door, hasn't he? Called you up a couple times, didn't he?
Now, what you want to do to save money is you want to invest all your money into Sneaky Pete and Friend. No,
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I'm
good
Clark
advice.
Howard saying invest. No, I'm sorry. I'm
All
sorry.
right. I'm going to wrap this up as Dennis, and you wrap it up as Clark Howard, right?
I'm Clark Howard.
So
My
hold on.
show's going.
Let me cue it to you. Let me cue it to you. All right, everybody. Get out there and support local music and art. Our show brought to you by Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis and Macias Insurance. And what do you got to say to everybody? Who's our guest next week, Clark Howard?
Next week? Oh, I went into something totally different there.
That was the Jewish guy.
No, geez, next week we're going to have, I don't know who we're going to have. Randy Birch, that's who we're going to have. Turner Fest. We're covering the fourth annual Turner Fest. So there you go. Andy's going to have a couple members of the band Wild and the Free.
All right, and we'll talk to you next week right here on Riverbend Talent on the Big Z.